Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast, dear listeners. Today, we have a fascinating topic to discuss the legendary Tangkuban Perahu. I'm your host, Tatanael Benanda Samuel, and I'm joined by two fantastic guests, Zaki Patihumam and Muhammad Zarifallah, who are experts on this enchanting tale. Welcome, Zaki and Zarif.
Hello guys, thank you for having us, Nathan.
Hello. It's a pleasure to be here. The best podcast in the world. For real,
Thank you for your compliment, bro, and I'm still learning. But how are you guys?
Well, I'm always good, bro. For real. Alhamdulillah.
Oh, me too. Very good, very well. How about you, Nathan?
I'm fine, thank you. Well, let's get started, yeah. I hear you guys are expert in folklore, right? Related to the topic of today's podcast, you guys tell the story about the legend of Tangkuban Perahu.
Well, yeah. Tangkuban Perahu is a volcano located near Bandung, West Java. The name Tangkuban Perahu translates to overturned boat in English. According to local legend, this name stems from a captivating story of a beautiful woman named Dayang Sumbi and her son Sangkuriang.
That sounds intriguing. Could you please tell us more about Dayang Sumbi and the origin of this name?
Alright, so a long time ago in West Java lived a beautiful girl named Dayang Suli. She was also smart and clever. Her beauty
Oh,
and intelligence made a prince from the lovely kingdom of Kahyangan desire her as his wife. So the prince asked permission from his father to marry Dayang and but the people from Kayangan would never live side by side with humans. But his father approved on one condition. So
wow.
they had a child, the prince would transform into a dog. And yeah, the prince accepted the condition. It's pleasant.
Yeah, they get married and live happily in the woods until Dayang Sumbi gave birth to a baby boy. The prince then changed into a dog named Tumang. Their son is named Sangkuriang. He was very smart and handsome, like his father. Every day he hunt animals and look for fruit to eat. One day, when he was hunting, Sangkuriang accidentally killed Tumang.
What? How can Sankoryang accidentally kill Tumang? Did he drunk or something?
No. So basically, his arrow missed the deer he was targeting and hit Tumang instead. So he went back home and tells her mother about the dog. What? Leosundi was appalled, driven by sadness and anger. She grabbed a whipping tool and hit Shankarian sadly. So,
Ouch.
but Leosundi was so sad. She did not pay attention to Shankarian and started to cry.
Sangkuriang feels sad and also confused. How can his mother love a dog more than him? Sangkuriang then decided to go away from their home and went on a journey. In the morning, Dayang Sumbi finally stopped crying. She started to feel better, so she went to find Sangkuriang, but her son was nowhere to be found.
Wow, that's very sad. What happened after?
She looked everywhere but still could not find him. And finally, she went home with nothing. So she was exhausted. She fell asleep and in her dream, she met her husband. Dayang Sumbi, then he said, go look for my body in the woods and get help. Soak with water and use water for bath, and you will be young forever, said the prince or her husband in her dream.
That's crazy.
After bathing with the water used to soak the dog's heart, the Asumbi looked more beautiful and even younger. That's magic. I don't know how, but that's magic.
And time passed by. Sangkuriang on his journey stopped at a village and met and also fell in love with a beautiful girl. He didn't realize that the village was his homeland, and the beautiful girl was his mother, Dayang Sumbi. Their love grew naturally, and he asked the girl to marry him.
Ain't no way that's legal. But what happened? Did her accept did her mother accept Sangkuriang's offer? Don't tell me.
Hmm. Dayang Sumbi did not know that the man was her son, but one day Sang Kuryang was going on a hunt, so he asked Dayang Sumbi to fix the turban on his head. Dayang Sumbi was startled when she saw a scar on his head at the same place where she years ago hit Sang Kuryang on the head.
After the young man left, Dayang Sumbi prayed for guidance. After praying, she became confident that the young man was indeed her missing son. She realized that she had to do something to prevent Sangkoryang from marrying her, but she did not wish to disappoint him by canceling the wedding. So, although she agreed to marry Sangkoryang, she would do so only on one condition, that he provides her with a lake and build a beautiful boat, all in one night.
Wow. Did Sangkuriang accepted the offer?
Yeah, Sang Kuryang accepted this condition without a doubt. He had spent his years studying magical arts. After the sun went down, Sang Kuryang went to the hill. Then he called a group of genie to build a dam around Citarum River. Then he commanded the genies to cut down trees and build a boat. A few moments before dawn, Centurion and his genie servants almost finished the boat.
But this is where the story takes a fascinating twist. Dayang Sumbi, who had been spying on him, realized that Sangkoryang would fulfill the condition she had set. Dayang Sumbi immediately woke all the women in the village and asked them to wave a long red scarf. All the women in the village were waving red scarf, making it look as if dawn was breaking. Deceived by false dawn, the crowd and farmer rose for the new day.
Wow, I didn't expect that. So cool. And what happened next? Did Sangkuriang finish his text?
Uh, Sangkuriang's genie servant immediately dropped their work and ran for cover from the sun, which they feared. Sangkuriang grew furious with all his anger. He kicked the unfinished boat, no one saying. The boat fell and landed on a valley. The boat then became a mountain called Mount Tangkuban Perahu. For your information, Tangkuban means upside or upside down, and Perahu means boat. With his power, he destroyed the dam. The water drained from the lake and become like pan, and nowadays become a city called Bandung. From the word Bandung, which means there. Yeah, that's it.
What a wonderful story, full of captivating and moral lessons. What do you think of the moral of this story, guys?
Well, I think we have to keep promise no matter what, and we have to love someone appropriately.
For me, we must not cheating and be honest when doing assignment. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you both, Zaki and Zarif, for sharing this story with us. It's a reminder of the rich folklore that Indonesia has to offer.
It was our pleasure.
Indeed, Nathan. Thank you for having us.
And thank you, dear listeners, for joining us and exploring the legend of Tangkuban Perahu. We'll be back with more intriguing tales in the future. Until then, keep your curiosity alive and your stories vibrant.